In this video, I'd like to just play around a little bit with HTML entities and some of them that are emojis. So if you want the code for this page, it is seen, it can be found at the URL seen right now. And here's this little page, and it's displaying the sort of see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, monkey emojis. And then down at the bottom, it gives, I'm going to work with this is the hex. We're working with HTML entities and work in hex code. That's what the little X is for, hex code. And then I'm changing the last 3 hex digits and displaying that. So 349, I sort of pre-selected, and that is the sort of watermelon. If I change, I get in that same vicinity, I get some other, I don't know, fruit and vegetables. And then you can change to other places and get other weird things. Okay, so that is just a game, a bit of fun. So first, maybe a definition, an HTML entity. So there's certain things that are special in HTML, like open, the greater than, the less than sign, and the greater than sign designate beginning and ending of tags. And so if you wanted to display them on the page, and not have them confused with the tag, which plays a special role, then you use what's called an HTML entity, and these begin with an ampersand. And so the less than sign can be gotten by ampersand LT, and then you designate that you're sort of done with a semicolon. But they can also be written as numbers. So ampersand, hashtag, pound, whatever you want to call it, 60, semicolon, will give you a less than sign, as will ampersand LT, semicolon. And again, this is a way to handle things that are special characters within HTML, and it's also a way to just sort of work with, as we see, emojis or characters, like maybe Japanese or something like that. So that's the basic idea of an entity. So one thing is we're going to see in our code is that ampersand plays a certain role of designating that we're starting an entity, and therefore then ampersand plays a special role. And if we want an ampersand, we're going to have to use the HTML entity for an ampersand. So that's going to come up in our code. And then I give a reference. So this is that. Why can't I? There we go. I have a reference here as a comment, and this gives just a big long list. This is sort of more of a definition of the entity. And then here's just a big set of emojis, all sorts of emojis. Okay, so now here's my crazy little page here. Background and color is orange. I have 2 classes defined, large and medium, to have a medium font size, a very large font size. So I'm making the HTML entities very large so we can sort of see a lot of the monkey. And I'm going to have divs, but go across. I don't want the divs to be one under the other, but to go one next to the other. And so I changed their display property to inline block. They're usually, a div is usually not inline. So a div wants to be by itself on a line, but inline means then it will share with other things. But block means it can still have like a width and a height and so on. Though I'm not going to give it a width and a height, but so the block part means that it can have a width and a height if I wanted it to, and inline means that it will share space on a line with other things. Okay, so that was my little bit of style. Here was that reference I told you for the emojis. I don't need the Explorer open right now. Here are just the three monkey. The div is of the class large, but the span is medium. The span within it is medium, and that is giving me the monkey. And here's the span within the div, and here's the. So this is a div, and a div. Each monkey is a div, and then within the div, I have the span, and the span has the medium font, but the emoji itself is in the large class. And so the emojis are large, but the text displayed is small. An ampersand, again, we said plays this special role. So if I want to show you an ampersand, and here's a place where I wanted to show you an ampersand, then I had to use the HTML entity for an ampersand. So that ampersand #38 semicolon, that displays for me an ampersand, and then it doesn't play the role of an ampersand. So up here, where I just had the ampersand being itself, that created the entity, that created the monkey. And down here, where I wanted to show you the code, but not have it interpreted as the emoji, then I replaced the ampersand here with ampersand #38 semicolon. And then that displayed for me that ampersand. And without the ampersand, the rest doesn't get interpreted, so I can just have it as itself. And then I have these sort of three consecutive monkey emojis because I like them. Okay, so that was up here. Oops. Then I have, and these I'm using working with the emojis. The emojis have a number, and the number can be written in decimal or in hex. And I've decided to work in hex. So the next thing I'm going to do is work with this family, then start with 1F in hex. So the ampersand means eventually then I'm going to interpret it as an HTML entity, and the £sign and the X means I'm working in hex. And then I'm going to have this 5 hexadecimal digit code. And I'm going to always start with 1F to have a particular family of HTML entities, and then I'm going to allow the user to change the last 3 hexadecimal digits and then display the corresponding HTML entity. So here's a select. I made the class medium for the select, gave it an ID. All of my on-change events are going to call a display entity function. And for this first hex, for this first select, I am pre-selecting the 3. And then I just have another select where I'm pre-selecting 4. And the third one, I'm pre-selecting 9. And that was that, if I refresh, that was that 349 was that sort of, it was 1F349. That is the watermelon entity. Okay. So here I am here's me showing the code. So I replace the ampersand with the code for an ampersand. And then here is me displaying the actual HTML entity. So that was, here's the code, and then here's the actual entity, the watermelon. Okay. And now here is the little on change, the function called by the 3 on changes. I get the hex for 1, the hex for 2, the hex for 3. When I'm displaying the code, I'm concatenating hex 1, hex 2, hex 3, and I'm using the ampersand #38. So that is an HTML entity for the ampersand, but then it sort of it disables the ampersand. So the rest of it will not be, so this will be interpreted as the HTML entity for an ampersand, and then the rest will not be interpreted, and this will just be displayed. Whereas down here in the second one, in div entity, I go straight to the ampersand # X, and so this one will be interpreted, and this will give me the picture. So it'll be the code and then the picture. And that's where we see it. So here's the code displayed, and here's the entity displayed. And again, I can change them. So there's 333. I don't know, what is that, a tulip or something? Or 339. 334 is a palm tree or a coconut tree or something. Okay, so that's it. Fun with entities. We have this idea of, first it started off with, there were things that played special roles in HTML, and we wanted to be able to, like the less than and the greater than, that we wanted to be able to display. And so this gave us a way to display those things. And then it just gave an opportunity to display all sorts of things like fun emojis. And you can probably find ones that maybe don't correspond to anything, but if the numbers are low enough for EB, there is some kind of mailbox or something like that. And sometimes the ones nearby are related. So mailbox with mail, or mailbox without mail, or whatever that means for a mailbox. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you, just a little bit of fun with HTML entities. Thanks for your attention.